So what's it like to pack up a family of 10, groceries in hand, and drive 3,500 kilometers across Western Canada?
14 days, one van, countless snacks, ferry rides, beaches, forests, and memories that we'll never forget.
From the prairies of Saskatchewan to the coastlines of Vancouver Island, we're sharing the laughter,
the chaos,
the beauty,
and the blessings
of our epic family road trip. So day number 1, we take off and we are on our way to Canmore.
Yes, Canmore,
Alberta.
So we get to Canmore, to my sister's place, and she's so gracious. She has like a meal ready for us and everything is prepared, and she just brings us on a little hike into the mountains. And you know, when you get that first smell of like mountain air, it's just like, wow, this is so heavenly and amazing. Yeah. And
Canmore is a beautiful place. If you're gonna travel in Canada, that's one place that's a good stop. So day 2 was from Canmore to Kamloops, but we stopped in at Banff because there's a special place there called Cow's Ice Cream. Janelle and I discovered Cow's Ice Cream on the east coast of Canada in Prince Edward Island when I was speaking for a conference out there. And the only place, it ends up being my favorite ice cream in all of Canada. And the only place in Western Canada, there's 2 spots, Whistler, BC and Banff, Alberta. So this is the second time we've taken our family to Banff. We went to Cow's Ice Cream. Mooey Gooey's my favorite flavor, if you want to know. And it was a great experience of just going in. Banff is a unique town in the Rockies.
Yeah, and everyone loves going there. Like, it's exciting. But it's expensive, just warning you. You know, the beautiful thing about the national parks here in Canada are that they're absolutely beautiful. They're well taken care of. Even the outhouses are like, you know, they're outhouses, but they're not disgusting. They're taken care of. And so there's always exciting things to see along the highway, and like fun little bridges that you notice that they've created for like the wildlife to go over. And then they even give you like these really great maps where you can, you know, pull off onto the side and go on like a 2-kilometer hike or a 1-kilometer hike. And they're beautiful. Sometimes they'll even have these like great boardwalks. So it's really easy for like a family with little kids, big kids, strollers, to just do like a quick little break on the side of the road.
So we did one of those stops along the way at Yoho National Park, a place called Takakkaw Falls. And we did it's actually not that easy to get to. There's some switchbacks along a mountain to get up to the parking lot. Ended up being raining when we arrived, but that didn't stop most of us. I got a couple of the kids. We jumped out. We did the hike to the falls. It was a great experience, even though we got soaked.
Yeah, and I think absolutely terrifying going up there. The kids are like, we're gonna die, because it literally, you're like on the side of a cliff, and there might be a guardrail if you're lucky. And at this one point, like we had to back up to make the turn.
Not the easiest thing to do with a 12-passenger van.
Yeah, but we made it, and we're still alive, clearly.
So we did also a boardwalk in Glacier National Park through some Douglas firs.
Yeah, that was nice. I can't remember the name of that one. But if you get a map, you can just find them.
It was beautiful. Then we ended up in Kamloops for the evening.
Yes. Want to talk about Kamloops?
It was really bad.
Okay, well, Kamloops is a beautiful place. If you're from there, it doesn't mean we don't love that place. We just ended up staying somewhere that was very scary.
It was...
Ken booked this ahead of time. You know, it's a great deal, right?
It was a great deal for a reason.
There were many tears shed and towels pulled out to sleep over. And I'm like, don't put the baby anywhere. Don't put the baby on the bed.
It was a rundown motel. I won't name the name, but the guy who checked us in says park in the front because the security cameras are in the front, not the back. So it gives you an idea of what I accidentally booked, but we had nowhere else to stay. You know it's bad when the ice bucket is patched with duct tape.
Her daughter's like, I don't think they're supposed to use duct tape on that ice bucket. Anyhow, it was fine. And we made it to our destination the next day. We left early from Kamloops to catch our ferry because clearly Vancouver Island is an island and you have to take a ferry. And so we get to Horseshoe Bay is the name of the terminal. And that's a really exciting thing, to go on a ferry with all your kids. It's like this massive boat. And when we were on the ferry, we even got to see like some orca whales in the ocean. And
yeah, Jacob was saying, Dad, look out in the water. The water's being disturbed. I think there's something there. I'm like, no, it's just waves. It's just waves. And all the kids looking, all of a sudden, a fin goes up and goes down into the water. I guess it was a whale.
Yeah, so that was exciting. And it's usually about, I think, a 2-hour ride, like boat ride from Vancouver to Nanaimo. And yeah, then from Nanaimo, we thought we would make it in time for Costco to still be open, but it wasn't open because I was going to pick up some groceries, but that's okay. There's lots of other grocery stores around. And then we drove to where we were staying, and that's at my aunt's place. So this is one of the reasons why we were able to make this trip, because I have an aunt who has this, her home, and then also this additional kind of facility connected to her home that was absolutely perfect for our family to stay in. There was 4 bedrooms and a small little kitchenette and bathrooms, and it was kind of like our central place for us to stay, and then we would do day trips from there.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. And in the backyard, you look out and you can see the ocean. And it was just a magical place for us to stay. So we're so grateful to Janelle's aunt and uncle who allowed us to be there with them that whole time on the island.
Mm-hmm. And she was even so gracious to like make supper for us. And I'd come back and my laundry would be folded. I was like, oh my goodness, this is like a real holiday, you know? So we would just take care of our breakfast and lunch, and we would go about and do our own thing during the day. And then often we would congregate back at her place, or my aunt and uncle's place, and have supper with them.
So 2 places in the Parksville area on Vancouver Island that we really enjoyed. Number 1, Rathtrevor Beach, and number 2, Parksville along the water. Rathtrevor Beach was the first place that we took the kids, and it's just amazing to see them experience the ocean, because we don't have an ocean in Saskatchewan. So see them look for sand dollars and like clams and walk the beach and just beach coal. Basically, it's amazing how kids can be occupied when you just put them in nature and say, go. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of what we did sometimes. We just sit on the beach and let the kids play. What do you think?
Yeah, it was really great. And we would just have the baby in like a carrier and he would sleep. It was awesome. And then the other place was Parksville Park, which is also along the beach. And they have this incredible park for like kids, like little kids all the way to big kids. They have like a zip line. They have a little spray park there. And it was just like we spent hours at this park.
And when you get tired of the play set, you can just go to the beach, and they can play in the rocks, or they can play in the sand. So one of the things that catches our attention, because we're from the prairies, is that on the coast, there's something called the tide. So the water goes out and the water comes in. And so it always makes the beach and the rocks always look different depending on what time of the day you go back to that place. And so it was neat to see the kids experience that, to see the beach at low tide, see the beach at high tide, and see what comes in, what treasures that they can find.
And so even like other than that, that's kind of more relaxing, but we did a few little hikes with our kids. And I would say probably the highlight of my time, and if you speak to the kids, often they'll say going to Hornby Island. And Ken and I actually did this very hike when we were first married. We went out to Vancouver Island and we went to Hornby Island. You have to take 2 additional ferries to get there. And then we did the walk it's called Hellywell Provincial Park. And it's right along the coast, and you get to see, just like these cliffs and these little beaches, and it's just so lovely.
It's a 5.5 kilometer hike, and so Pascal started off running. And he ran the first 2 kilometers, and then I think I carried him for the rest. And of course, Louis, he was in a carrier, but the rest of the kids did so good. That was the longest hike we did, 5.5 kilometers. And one way, you go along the cliffs. As you come back, you're sheltered by these big trees along the coast. And then we saw like these sea otters in the distance. And we stopped and were able to get a little close to them. And the kids were really entertained. The sea otters would poke their heads up out of their logs and go back down and run out to the water. Again, something that you don't see in Saskatchewan. We don't see sea otters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we would even see some seals, I think, in the distance. And yeah, it was just really interesting because, clearly we don't have that here. So then after this 5.5 kilometer hike, we ended up going to a place called Tribune Bay, also on Hornby Island. And it was so lovely. It's like a beach, and it's kind of in this like little cove. And yeah, it was just so nice.
Spectacular. And the thing about Hornby Island, it's not easy to get to because you have to take multiple ferries to get there. And then there wasn't a lot of people. So we had this whole, and that was the case for a lot of what we did because we went in June. It's not a touristy season out on Vancouver
Yet, it's like the beginning.
Yeah, school's still in Canada during this time. So this beautiful beach, and basically it felt like you had it to yourself. And that was kind of special. Another beautiful place that we really enjoyed, a short little hike called Neck Point. It just took us along the coast. Again, it's a point, so you go up one way, you come back another. But the coastline was just stunning. And something that we did a lot of when we would go on our little day excursions is that we would pack a picnic. And so you'd get groceries from one
The
of
grocery
the
store.
and we'd pack sandwiches and get bananas and get fruit, and we'd find a picnic spot, in this case just a picnic table, and just have a lunch along the coast, which is also a cost savings because it's expensive to eat out with you have a family of 10.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Yeah, so it was nice because like one day we had like hard-boiled eggs, and like we have a little cooler that you can plug in the vehicle that will keep things cool. So that's helpful too. So yeah, we just would pack our meals. I love picnics.
Yeah.
They're fun. Especially like when there's water. Like there was this one spot that we went to. I don't know if we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, what was it called?
Roswell something. Okay, so there was like this one little spot that we had a picnic. It's called Roswell Creek. And it was just so lovely, like quiet, but the creek was so gorgeous and it was safe and the kids could play in the water or throw rocks while we just sat there and watched and marveled. It was awesome. So another lovely place that we went to was Qualicum Falls. And we had been there before, and it's lovely because you can see these different falls. They have multiple, there's the upper falls and there's the lower falls. And then again, they have a beautiful picnic area. Can you tell we just love Vancouver Island? Like it is so lovely. If you need a holiday vacationing spot, I would say go there.
It's another place that we really enjoy. It's called Top Bridge, 7 minutes from where we live in the Parksville area. A river goes through the area, and there's just different places where the kids can jump off rocks into the river or just play on a sand beach. But there's also beautiful hiking up and down the edges of the river. And there's this one that was kind of interesting. It's a natural cave, and we walked through it, and you go through it a bit and come out on the other side, and there's the water, a little beach.
Bear cave?
But it just catches you with this beautiful view, and it's neat to walk through a cave with the kids, you know? Again, something that we typically don't do.
So I have a really lovely sister-in-law. She's always like looking for great spots for, like, her family does a lot of, trips and things like that. And she recommended going to this research, what was it called? Deep Bay Marine Field Station. And it's part of the Nanaimo University. And you can go there. And then there's like a person who will kind of give you a tour and teach you about all the things that they're doing at this research center. And then they have these, I don't know if they call them water tables, with all these sea creatures. And then you can put them in your hand and you can hold these like sea cucumbers and sea stars and these little crabs. And he talks about, how the sea cucumber has 5 sets of organs and they will vomit them out to protect themselves. So it was just really educational. I like that as a homeschooling family. I'm like, okay, this is good. We like to learn about science.
Yeah. Another place that's a gorgeous stop is called Cathedral Grove. And it's a grove of Douglas firs. But these trees, some of them are 800 years old. And it's just amazing to walk through them and see how massive they are. Once again, like the trees in Saskatchewan are little sticks compared to these things. Massive trees. It's hard to imagine a tree being there for such a long time, 800 years. The beauty of God's creation, just so magnificent before you.
Ken has this really funny footage. So we're walking and there's like this big dead tree trunk along the side. So our kids are walking on it. And then all of a sudden our daughter, Catherine, just falls right off and like tumbles right in front of us as Ken's recording. So anyhow,
She was okay.
she was okay. Yeah, we had a few of those on the trip and everyone was okay. So that was good. So one day was a gloomy day and we drove all the way to Duncan and we went to go see this Raptors presentation with these birds. We had been there one time before, about 6 years ago. And
Yeah,
we
no,
loved
first
it
of all,
so much.
so some people are thinking, oh, birds, a bird presentation, like how exciting can birds be?
No, it was very exciting.
This was amazing. It's raptors, specifically raptors. Raptors are birds that have beaks and claws. So they're kind of predators. And so what did we experience there?
Well, so we stayed for 2 presentations and we got to see a bald eagle. She had like this bald eagle that was like right in front of us and they fly like so close that you can feel the feathers like on your cheeks sometimes. It's a little bit terrifying.
And that's not an exaggeration. Sometimes they do fly right by your face.
Yeah.
And you can feel like the owl right by your cheek.
Yeah. I think the most interesting bird that I got to see was the vulture. You know, those things are like intense. They will eat anything. Their stomachs are like stomachs of steel.
And they're ugly.
And, well, yeah, maybe a little bit, but
Compared to the beautiful bald eagle or the falcons or the
Yeah,
owls.
yeah.
You know, it's all, I guess it's all nice. It's
yeah,
all beautiful.
God made it. Yeah. Anyhow, okay, so
So super interactive because the birds are right in front of you. The kids get to see the birds up close. And it's just an incredible experience.
yeah, but I'm curious if people who go there might be like, we went, but we didn't find it as interesting.
I guess
So we like it.
we like raptors.
So there's this one place, it's called Goats on the Roof, or the town itself is called Coombs. And it's a little marketplace that I've gone multiple times because I've been to the island a few times in my life. And so we like to go every time. It's a lot of fun. And they do actually have goats that are on the roof and there's grass there and you can see them kind of like eating away. But it's a real tourist place. So if you're not really into tour, like lots of people, it's kind of a little bit more congested. But they have really cool things in their market and lots of different stores.
And the kids find it interesting to see goats on a roof.
Yeah. And then they also have like this one section has that really cool toys that you wouldn't normally find at other places. So I like to go look at that spot too.
And there were so many other experiences that we did as a family that just made this trip so memorable. Need some help? Oh, I can't even get in the...
He put that dead fish on the ben's head.
From beautiful... What island are we on?
Honey thing.
Hornby.
Hornby.
Hornby Island.
Go! No. You get them down. It's warm.
So on the way home, it was memorable, but for sometimes other reasons.
Yeah,
happened? What
I don't know.
happened?
Some of our kids must have contracted some kind of tummy, gastrointestinal thing because there was a number of throwing ups and bathroom breaks and sore tummies and
Explosions out of both ends that we had to deal with all the way home. Let's just say it.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's basically what happened.
All the way home. But the thing is, the kids, it didn't get them down. It
No.
didn't get, so you're cleaning up bodily fluids,
And stopping at outhouses along the
like
highway.
emergency stops. But despite that, it really didn't change people's mood.
No.
And I'm grateful for our kids. To
Yeah,
push
and it was
through
funny
that.
because it wasn't like they were acting sick. It was just like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, or oh, I think I'm going to throw up.
Or my favorite line, Mom, I pooped my pants.
Yes, that did actually happen.
She's like, I thought it was a fart. But it was great.
Yeah, so anyhow, I think our oldest daughter counted, there was like 11 throw-ups on the drive home. And then on the way, we're almost home, and we get to a place called Kindersley. And our son Pascal throws up in his Paw Patrol sand pail, which I was happy about because it wasn't on the floor. And then we stop to find something to eat because the kids needed to eat something, but they weren't really into any fast food. So we went to Walmart, and I bring all the kids in so Ken can go fill up with diesel. And then all of a sudden, he looks like he's going to throw up again. And I'm like, oh no, I need something. So I find that there's like this random box. It was like the Lord put it right there for me. And this cardboard box with plastic wrapped around it. I loved the plastic, and gave it to him, and he threw up right in the box. It was just like perfect.
And I show up at Walmart. Jacob's pushing Pascal out in the shopping cart. He's holding the box.
With his puke in it. So,
Anyways.
and we're literally like an hour away from home. So then we get home. It's like almost 11:30 at night, I think.
Yeah.
And we walk into the house, and we're like, what's that smell?
It reeked.
There was something that smelled really bad. I'm like, there's a dead mouse in here somewhere. So we're like looking around, but we could tell it's kind of all in this one area.
And I walked by our deep freeze, which is in our boot room entrance, and I, for some reason, saw the light wasn't on, the power light wasn't on, and all our meat's in there. And I opened it up, and this big plume of stench just filled the entire place. It was like rotting meat that had been marinating in its own juice for the last 2 weeks. Absolutely disgusting. And it filled the entire house instantly. It was so putrid. I just closed it. And that's how we came home.
Luckily, we have a door that kind of can seal off the boot room from the rest of the house. So I think we aired out the house. But then the next day, we're like, we got to deal with this freezer. Anyhow,
That's another story. Hey, that's it, huh?
That's it.
Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for journeying with us, putting up with our stuff here, and we'll see you really soon.